Alrighty. And I believe we're live, I assume. Yeah, just hang on for a second, guys, as I am trying to set something up right here. So I'm gonna play some like music right now so you guys can like you know, while you guys gathering up, I'll be prepared when it comes to you know, like getting to the reaction part. So just let me put this lo-fi music up. All right, let's see. All right, let's see. All right. All right. Let me just put the website up going. Is it the website? All right. Alrighty. Put it like right here. All right. Be right back. While I'm gathering everything up. Be right back. Alrighty. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, sorry about that. Let me just I'm trying to get everything prepared before I start streaming. Wow, that like it's pretty good just to keep it like idle, just in case if one of you guys don't want to miss out the stream and stuff. So yeah, I'm just trying to set things up. All right. And it's connected. Cool. That says, yep, hard connecting. Good. Now, there's one more thing I might want to do. I know it's kind of like, you know, sucks that I'm not like being prepared for it, but let me just try to check on something. I'll explain the image that's on the screen right now for a bit though. All right, so open. Okay, so it's not that. All right. Alright. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna replace the photo or the picture here because it does look a little bit too squish. So I'm gonna do this. There you go. So yeah. Okay, yeah, so welcome to the stream where I'm gonna be reacting to another video and I'll explain it to it, but yeah, let me try to hide this first. Like, so anyways, all right, Welcome everyone, welcome to the live stream or video, and today we're going to be reacting towards is it too late, pro AI versus anti AI middle ground. Now it's from the person channel called Jubilee, which 9.7 million subscribers, and yeah, so it's mostly about the video that just talks about the controversy when it comes to, well, you know, one team that's, you know, against AI and the other one is like, you know, with AI. So the idea is that it's a channel that just talks about the, like, you know, two teams and explains certain questions, like whether they agree with this or disagree with this. So that's what we're gonna be reacting to. And also yeah, sorry about the burp. So one more thing in mind though, just a heads up. I realized that the fact that like there's a lot of dislikes on this video, and it's not just because it was about the AI part, it's because of the fact that if you look down the description, they say something about like, oh, like they copy strikes people's channels or something. So what I'm gonna do honestly is that I'm gonna have this thing enabled. Let me see, I have it right here. It's this little guardrail, whatever you call it, and it's basically where like it's enabled people. It's like, and it is, how you say it, it's a type of thing that like allows me to enable, like, you know, fair use, so to speak. Like I'm just reacting to it, like not trying to take it. And if anything, I should probably raise the text a little like brighter, just because maybe it's already too late, dang it. But anyways, oh yeah, actually I could wait. Equips. Okay, so this was it. So like, yeah, like let me just raise this up a little bit bright, a little darken. All right, let's see how this goes. Let's see. All right, save. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so yeah, the reason why I'm basically adding a protection, whatever you call it, on like the fair use is because like they said, they're basically saying like, oh, the idea that like you're sharing the content, they're gonna like think you're like trying to copyright the video. And even though I'm not copyrighting the video, I'm just technically just trying to give a reaction. So that's gonna be like later on in the future, where like I would also do like movie reactions or TV reactions, if whatever so called it. I'm not sure what determines by it, but at the same time, that's why I have the disclaimer fair use image, so that I basically hide the video enough to make it where it's usable to share. And especially I give commentary, so hopefully that makes it up for it. But I know it's like my channel is like not meant for like, not monetized yet, like only my main channel, but it's just I gotta be careful, you know, like you never know what would happen if some of these YouTube channels are against like sharing and stuff, or you know, whatever. But anyways, without further ado, let's begin with this with the reaction. Oh my, I forgot I left the thing on. All right.
Hi, I'm Gen and explore social and controversial issues through both sides. Today I'll be moderating the middle ground episode of Pro AI versus Anti AI. We'll be talking about the potential risks, rewards, and fears surrounding the use of AI in our daily lives.
Okay.
The first prompt is, the media has wrongly portrayed AI as a threat.
Okay, let me see. So middle ground community results, 29% yes, 71% no. Okay, so media has wrongly portrayed AI as a threat. Me personally, it could be a no, honestly, because if you think about it, it says like the media has wrongly portrayed AI as a threat, which is kind of tough to say, like wrongly. And like I know I'm overthinking about it, but like when it says like, let me see, wrongly portrayed, like a false way of saying AI is a threat. Oh, hang on for a second. Anyway, so yeah, like I think yes, maybe yes, because the fact that like you know, because the fact that you know, it depends. I don't know. It's hard to say.
So the thing is, the media is portraying this whole like Terminator situation where it just kills us in that sense. I think the bigger issues are all the alignment problem where the robot does override a kill switch, but then I'm also seeing it as used as a tool in military warfare. So I think it's like that's the actual threat, but the current picture that a lot of media and like Hollywood will portray it as these as these Terminator situations.
Totally. Like, I'll give you one example. Like, if you could be working in a factory, and you know an employee gets their arm injured with a machine, sometimes an article will say, oh, a robot attacks employee at a Tesla factory or something. You see it with a car where, you know, there are hundreds and thousands of humans getting into car accidents every day, but there'll be one autopilot accident, and the media will play that up because at the end of the day, saying a Tesla killed a man or a Tesla hurt a man is going to get traffic. And
I think the problem is, though, is that like as soon as one thing happens, that like something goes wrong with the false, you know, like if the error applies towards an AI, then obviously they're gonna like try their best to like, you know, shame it, like literally shame every single part of it. And that's the sucky part, is because the fact that they're, you know, trying their best to show how bad it is when it comes to like, you know, like, oh, look at the error of this, look at the error of that. And instead of just thinking, oh, it's just gotta learn. Like AI just gotta learn more better on how to do this and that. They just need more proper training, so to speak.
traffic is hundreds of millions of dollars to some of these sites.
Yeah.
Bring the disagreeers.
So only 3 disagrees that the media wrongly portrayed. Man, that's like, why is it twisting my mind? Media has wrongly portrayed AI as a throwing. So like, so if you disagree, that's like, you know, they're the wrong ones. Like the media is the wrong for portraying them wrongly, if that makes any sense. And it's true. I mean, it's kind of true in a sense that, yeah, in some cases, but it's not always the case. It's just up to the people, the humans, basically, you know, who designed these bots, who designed this and that. So it just depends on whether or not if they can do a good job at, you know, emulating AI to make it more function, make it more whatever. Just like how you make a phone, where you have to make sure a phone works properly. So it's like you have to teach baby steps of how to do this and that, basically.
I think the Terminator movie is a gift, because the Terminator movie, when you see Arnold Schwarzenegger with a gun
Hey, yo.
taking down a whole city's police force, that gives us some intuition that's a lot better than thinking about how you feel when you're typing on your
Also, don't you dare demonetize me, YouTube. That's just how the name is.
computer. When you type on your computer, you feel like you're the boss and you can take whatever comes at you through that screen.
True.
But if you're a buffalo, right, facing the human race and you're going extinct, buffaloes feel like humans are Terminators. That's what it feels like when there's a Terminator species that's competing with you on the planet. And that is the right intuition. If you want to fast forward 5 to 20 years, it's going to feel like the robot in your house is a Terminator, and it can jump and gun you down and do whatever it wants. And the question is, what will it do? What is it programmed to do? And is it programmed with the right control? And unfortunately, I think the answer is going to be no.
I feel like that's a little too much of a movie, so to speak, in the sense of like, oh, my computer's gonna jump at me and try to kill me, and if like as soon as he knows or self-aware, he's gonna jump out and just, you know. And honestly, it's a bit over exaggerating, and also, I don't think the fact is like that would be the case, because obviously, maybe if you have a robot in your house, maybe, but at the same time, if it's just a text to speech, whatever we call it, or text, whatever, then yeah. But unless if it looks at your data, then sure. I don't know, it just depends.
Or again, anthropomorphize.
May not be like physically attack you, but you know, mentally attack you in a sense of ruining your bank and stuff. But it depends, really.
Using AI and saying that's a better representation of like the evils that it could potentially hold, right? Is to like see it in the form of this human, basically, right? When really the threats that it has, or the potential threats, are beyond the scope of what humans can do. And so I hope that's not the first moment that people start paying attention to the potential pitfalls of it. It's like when they see it walking around toward them, right? Because I just think
fair. I'm really talking about the intuition pump, that when you bring up your mental image of what is a super intelligent AI, most people are like, oh, it's kind of like Microsoft Word, but it has like a few extra features. And I want you to start from the mental image of the Terminator and then make it even more scary from there.
I don't think that's true. I think that's what most people think when they think, oh, scary robots, AI.
I think the fact is, like, people look at movies too much about AI and then they just like automatically just make a judgment call like, oh, they're doing AI here, up, automatic red flag, instead of just really thinking about it and just be like, let me think. Is this something like this and that or whatever that? And it just shows like, oh, okay, seems like it's not as a false whatever, so to speak. Or like, you know, could you actually begin to learn what AI is, or what text models or ChatGPT is, or what video AI means, you know, each settings of the program. So you realize, oh shoot, this makes things a lot easier, like AI green screen masking or some other thing. Like most of the programs are made from using AI to make things optimize pretty good and make our jobs a lot more faster, instead of just, oh, coming out of the laptop and just kill you or something. It's like, come on. Like, you watch way too much movies. Don't you stare at me. I'm just kidding.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back.
Hey, yo.
Like, that's what they think.
If that's what they already think, then the media's done a good job.
I just think that's done a really reductive job, actually, of really educating people about.
Also, I don't think it has nothing to do with the AI. It's just how the person, you know, designed the character or the bot or the AI, because the fact that, after all, it was a human who made it. So obviously there's a flaw of human as well. So could it be a human fault? Who knows?
What the actual impact of AI could be, how it could affect their daily lives, how it could affect the global, you know, the state of things, the economies, all those things. I think, once again, there's a real detriment to people not really understanding what AI is, what the potentials are, the pros and the cons. And I think that Terminator, as like a fulcrum, is.
Oh wait. Oh, I'm so stupid. Wait, are they talking about media as like movies or TV shows about AI? Oh, I thought they're talking about like the AI, you know, like people making false narratives of AI in the sense that, hey, it's gonna, you know, like predictions basically. But I guess movies and pop culture is a prediction of what would it be like in a real life scenario. So yeah, my bad. I thought they mean something else.
Reductive.
This idea that there's this monster in your house that walks around and looks like a human is, you know.
I mean, Elon Musk already has that implied. And honestly, it's not really that good, because the fact that, well, obviously it's not a robot, it was just a remote control robot from another human. So yeah, basically it's not really the case. I mean it is a case in the sense that, like, yeah, that's the reason why we're not technically AI. They're just humans in robot disguise, if that's the case. So that's probably different.
Again, it's extreme. I don't know how many people are scared of their iRobots or Roombas, but again, like, just going back to the media, this is the problem. Like, nobody's going to talk about how you know, Roomba has helped an old lady keep her house clean without the labors of having to vacuum everything, or they're not going to talk about like there just aren't going to be articles about how some guy had a safe drive home in his autopilot.
How do you imagine super intelligence?
I mean, to be fair, autopilot or auto drive cars is actually pretty cool, because say like you're disabled, or say like you just want to just have a relaxed time in your car because, you know, you've been stressed, you've been dealing with, and you're not enough to focus on the road. Well, thank God AI cars exist, so that, hey, maybe that's an idea for you where you're too busy, you just want to go sleep in your car. I know it's kind of dangerous. Kinda. I mean, it makes sense, because you gotta be careful when it comes to like whether or not if this will happen to you, or you get into a car accident, or a car drifted you to a different location that you're not supposed to be. and it makes sense. But at the same time, just gotta put faith in God and just pray that nothing like that happens, and just hope that the humans who made the bots or AI, hopefully they know what they're doing, or else they're gonna cause a lot of deaths. Of course, it's not 100% perfect, but you know, it just depends if the human is good enough as an engineer to know how to make this AI bot work and stuff.
Trying to help you imagine the raw power of superintelligence. Like fast forward 20 years, what are you imagining?
I think of it as the reduction of the cost of goods, the efficiencies in society, so that most of us don't have to spend all day working.
The Industrial Revolution, we became more efficient. We had 40-hour workdays, and now we're still living in 40-hour workdays, even though we have like superior technology.
But you got to go.
I guess you could say like you're already used to the idea that before AI you're used to like everything else. So why now? And it's just because I just think the idea is that like, I don't know, who knows? Like maybe it makes things easier to just get the info quicker, or don't have to like look up on sources too much. Could already automatically look up sources like Perplexity AI, where you actually look up sources on the internet and make things easier for yourself, and you know, make it so that you don't have to, you know, waste all that time if you're trying to get a direct answer and stuff.
Before that too, I mean, there were times where people didn't even have days off, let alone, you know, like the amount of effort that it took to sustain life. I think it's gotten better over time. I mean, with the Industrial Revolution and factory work and all that has even gone down to an extent. There's a lot more what I call like skilled labor and things like that, where people aren't doing as very hard labor as they used to because of machinery and things like that. So again, like things are going to change. You can't always paint this picture that the world is going to end because of robots.
True. I think it's just because like, if you think about it, you have to brainstorm really hard. I mean, maybe it's good for brainstorming in case you're just still an anti-AI person, and that could work still as like a brainstorming tool or something. Like if you really want to do things all by yourself, sure. But at the same time, it's like, hey, might as well try to give AI a chance and try to see if you can actually make it where you can actually, you know, just see if you can come up with ideas if you're that sacred of your own ideas. But for anyone, it makes things a lot faster and stuff to make it more, to just make it more easier for yourself without having to spend so much time. I know time, effort is cool and all, but yet again, it's just you just gotta just legit just try, you know, like try to. Hey, wait, sorry. All right, cool. Anyways, all right, okay. Sorry about that. I'm just trying to test something out. Boom, 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 boom. All right, cool. Anyways, yeah, sorry about that. I was trying to change the thing. Anyways, but the point is that it just makes things faster for you, so you don't have to waste so much time. But you know.
Moving on to the next prompt.
We asked ChatGPT if it agreed or disagreed.
Oh yeah, speaking of which, let me try to set this up. Let me see. Starts a poll. What do you think of AI? Oh wait, what? Oh, okay. Pretty good. Pretty bad. All right. There we go. Yeah, it's just there just in case people want to get their opinions out.
You can't always paint this picture that the world is going to end because of robots.
Moving on to the next prompt.
We asked ChatGPT if it agreed or disagreed with each prompt. Here's what
It's kind of funny though, for the fact that they even like use AI for this one.
we asked ChatGPT if it agreed or disagreed with each prompt. Here's what its response to the first prompt was.
Agree. The media often sensationalizes artificial intelligence as a threat, focusing on dystopian scenarios portrayed in movies and speculative articles. While it's essential to consider potential risks associated with artificial intelligence, such as job displacement and ethical concerns, portraying artificial intelligence solely as a threat overlooks its potential benefits and opportunities for positive impact. A more balanced and nuanced portrayal of artificial intelligence in the media would be beneficial for fostering informed discussions and decision-making regarding its development and deployment.
I have been personally affected by AI.
No. Because I don't work as one of those, I don't rely on something that has something to do with AI in a sense. I mean by like, I don't rely in the sense that, you know, like if I'm like an artist, like I just basically just do like a freelancer type of jobs, and it's up to them if they want to hire me or not. And you know, like, and it's not like I'm like the one who's getting affected to it, so no.
I'm anti-AI because I think we're about to enter this uncontrollable extinction scenario. But until we get there, I think life is going to be amazing. I am actually more bullish on how good life is going to be than almost anybody right before it all goes downhill.
Here's what I think is happening to you. The reality is, the internet, people make money by driving clicks and virality. And I think the sensationalism, the extreme stories are just scaring you, because the reality is AI isn't as like a monster that you think it is.
I would disagree with that, because when I had a job as a tech person and there was a lot of layoffs because they were promoting the progression of AI. I also am an actor, and we're now seeing SAG-AFTRA signing a deal with the AI agency, which is putting a lot of voice actors, a lot of voice actors and animators at risk of losing a lot of jobs. So right now we're seeing a lot of layoffs and people losing their jobs in this economy where we're already struggling to stay afloat because
skill issue. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But most of the time, like at the end of the day, it's their company's like orders. It's their company. They can do whatever they want. Like, you're even lucky enough to even have a job to begin with, but at the same time, it just really depends if your company is that loving to want you around. It just depends, because they can do whatever they want. They have full authority or control if they want who and what can be hired and who and what can be fired. So, and I don't blame them too for not hiring certain people, because my goodness, an average cost of hiring people, it costs so much money, like thousands upon dollars. Like, let me give you guys like a fact though. Let me just search this up. Let me see. What's the average cost of voice acting? $50 to $5,000. Oh my goodness. Per word is like 0.50 cents. Oh my goodness. That is, wow. Per line is $3 to $10. Man, yeah, no. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so you be seeing the reason why oh my goodness, you see the reason why AI is winning, because obviously hiring someone like that would cost so much money. And if you don't believe me, look at this. Like, look at all the resources right here. It shows all the sources that's going on when it comes to like how average these people are when it comes to these price. Now I know, like, yeah, they have a reason, because they want to afford a job for paying their families or money or food and stuff. But yet again, it's like company wanted to try to save money so they can earn more money later on. But you know, so I'm thinking of.
As rent is rising and our wages aren't rising at the same rate as rent. And so in terms of the progression of AI, we're going to see a world where essentially who's going to really benefit from that? Because the people that already can't afford a lot of stuff right now, we're only going to see the people that are CEOs that are going to benefit from these companies that are using AI to replace humans who are becoming obsolete at the end of the day.
My father, for example, he lost his job as an Uber driver because of a lot of these autonomous driving out in San Francisco. But it's also helped him in some ways, where it's helped he started a new flower shop business, and it's helped him with marketing, it's helped him with other things. So I think that not only is it going to affect my dad and my family, but it's going to affect a whole ton of other people in other sectors, like acting and voice acting.
I think it just depends on what type of job you like to do and or I guess finding a job that AI cannot do at the moment, like flower business, or like a flower shop, or some plant shop, or some other. Just hang on. Hey, wait, just stop. Jeez. Yeah, just go the other way. I'm sorry about that. Just inconvenience. All right, but yeah, just depends on what type of job they're after versus what they're not active in the moment. But
retail and all the other industries.
So I'm a data scientist and a filmmaker. And so I just wrapped post-production on a micro-budget feature film, $60,000 budget, which is basically impossible to do. I don't recommend it. I edited the film. I'm the technical director on the film. I was basically able to do a lot of things to elevate the production value of the film, and a lot of things that would have been impossible without the use of AI tools. So I just wanted to go back to your point. You're saying your dad lost his job, but there's also things that AI helped him do. I think it's always going to be that, right? Like, I am a member of SAG-AFTRA, I'm an actor. There's a lot of dangers associated with AI if it's running rampant, unregulated. There's a lot of unethical uses, but there are ethical uses. If you're not using data that's scraped or stolen, I can use my own photos and images and create a 3D sequence or other things. But obviously education's important there, right? Because we need to understand things about what is ethical and what isn't an ethical use of AI.
There's stuff that we can use that's gonna fix nuisances in life that's gonna help us. However, I don't think we're seeing the big picture of the people that can be affected by it. With their livelihoods, their own lives. There's AI generated images of the Eiffel Tower that was burning and millions fell for it. There's already racial tensions that are currently in the United States. We can use AI to fake videos in the future of people one racing something to another race, and we can't even tell what the difference is already right now. So I'm afraid how superintelligence is going to affect the future.
I mean,
I think the difference here is the fact that they just need to moderate it in a sense that but yet again, that can also be Photoshop too. I mean, it can be that easy in a sense of just photoshopping things, like putting a PNG transparent fires in the background of outfit towers, whatever you call it, and and it just could be like that in a sense that, hey, they can easily just make that happening as an offense image. But at the same time, what's different for AI, it's kind of the same thing for if someone else was trying to do it as their Photoshop method, like Photoshop bashing. Thank you. Oh, shoot. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, I just need a drink. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm just a little thirsty. Okay. Let's see. But yeah.
I agree 100%, but I also think AI in some iteration or form has been around for so long, right? Decades. Yeah. So we've been using AI in our phones and our computers without our knowledge for a long time.
But we are seeing it on TikTok now because it's becoming more popular. So
oh, 100%. I guess all I'm saying is that now that people are aware of it, because we are seeing these really, click-worthy examples of deepfakes and things like that, I'm actually happy because it's going to encourage tech and data and AI literacy, which is really essential.
Yeah. I want to add to your point, because the thing about the machine learning models that we've already been using in high applications is that it does train on a lot of historical data, because just needs a ton of data to get these models to be as accurate as possible. And to your point, a lot of this data is racist and sexist. Yes. And so the fact that this technology is just able to proliferate.
It depends, really.
Such a crazy rate that we cannot keep up with as humans is why it's such a danger.
So I'm going to give you a use case for that, actually, and I 100% agree with you. The Apple Card, when it was first issued to people, they denied women just because historically women would be under their husband's credit. But if we don't let this technology progress, how will we get that new data so that we can eliminate those biases, right?
AI is the democratization of everything. It reminds me of when music, like now that you can make music in your bedroom and distribute music yourself, like you don't have to all go through a studio that gatekeeps.
All right, be right back. I'm sorry for getting out. I need to do something for a bit. All right. Sorry about that. All right.
You know, who gets distributed and who gets technology and studio time. The reality of what AI has done is it's kind of enabled you, if you wanted to start a company tomorrow, let's say you wanted to build an app of some sort, you would need investment funding. The barrier to entry in some of these to start a company is so high because you need money, you need technical co-founders, you need to give up most of your company to other people to make moves along a certain business track, right? But because AI exists, you can build more independent films. It brings the cost of barrier to entry so low that in the future, I think what's going to happen is instead of a lot of people working for a few big companies, there's going to be a lot of companies that hire a few people. And so it's just going to flip around where most of us can start a business. Like I can start a business today. And because of AI, the barrier to do some marketing, to do some of the coding that I might need.
So right over here it says to hire someone to make you a website, yada, determine, choose a hiring model. About $200,000 to $15,000 depending on the complexity of project. Finding something, And over here, considering additional costs, factor in expenses for domain names, $5 to $15 a year, hosting $75 to $200, and CSSL certificates $10 to $1,000. So for making a website, it costs like $500, and e-commerce site could exceed $10,000. So yeah, that's like quite a lot for if we're hiring someone. Quite insane.
To pull in a lot of the legal advice I might need. It's changed how all of us can start our own business. I mean, I don't know about you, but working for someone forever, I don't think is everyone's goal either. I think some people want to go out and start a business or do something.
Fun thing is that the fun fact though is that that's how I am able to be into AI art or AI. I mean, not AI, but like that's why I'm into like art, because of the fact that I'm able to do it. Like I could be able to use AI tools to make what I want without having to pay like so much money just for one art each. So to be fair, that's the reason why I'm into art. So like giving some inspiration of why I have this and that because of AI, and to help make things possible without making it impossible. Like it may not be perfect, but hey, it's there in case if I ever need it.
Just have a high barrier to entry for a lot of industries.
Hey guys, I'm John. After 4 years, the Radical Empathy podcast is now back.
I don't care.
The growth.
There's a new episode out now, so go give it a listen.
It's impossible to stop the growth of AI.
Yep.
Agreeers, please step forward.
Definitely impossible.
Have any of you ever played checkers before?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So checkers has actually been there since the 50s, at least the automated version. Since then, AI has been growing a lot. I'm personally like a machine learning engineer, so I've worked with AI very closely in terms of the models, the data, et cetera. One thing that I noticed is AI as generative AI has picked up a lot. But if we see this in terms of like the bigger picture, if you use text to speech, speech to text, these are all AI models, and we're using them in our daily lives. And personally, I think it's a net positive there. So I don't see why it wouldn't like continue growing.
With things like video AI, text to video, like Sora coming out, and also robocalls coming out, all these things are really shaping our technology, shaping democracy, and I think that it'll never stop growing.
Capitalism still rules most things, and so as long as there's money to be made in this industry, then people will continue to develop and advance AI.
Last year when ChatGPT was coming out and there's all this buzz, like a ton of researchers were trying to sign a letter deposit, but because of this, again, this arms race in terms of AI and in terms of the capitalistic market, as you mentioned, that it's, in practicality, it's not going to be paused.
So
the only one guy to actually think it's not impossible to stop growth of AI.
I agree with you guys that AI is hard to stop, and there's a profit motive that'll tend to make it not stop. But if it's as dangerous as something like nuclear weapons, then we better try to stop it, and we have some chance of success like we did with nuclear proliferation. It's only spread to about 9 countries. So there's some hope that we can stop it if we need to stop it.
Yeah, I have a question about stopping it. Like, if I can download Stable Diffusion and run it locally on my own machine, I guess my question is, you know, from your vantage point, then how do we stop me from doing that?
It's an excellent question. I do think that there's a point of no return when everybody's laptop can run an Einstein brain or even smarter than that. And I think that we have a couple short years where we better do a very serious ban, or else we're going to be faced with uncontrollable, runaway, super intelligent AI. And I think the urgency of this issue is underappreciated.
But AI is going to save more lives than it hurts. I mean, it's going to apply in medicine. It's going to apply in the ability for people to start businesses more effectively.
Education.
Education. There's so many other places. But like this assumption that I think AI is extremely dangerous, I think comes from just the media sensationalizing it.
I think it's just the idea is that people are exaggerating too much or overthinking it in a sense that, like, oh no, we're gonna die because of nuclears, because of AI, and it's like, true, but hey, just pray to God that doesn't happen. Like, just pray that it doesn't happen, and just hope that the humans got it under control. Like I said, it's mostly about just the training of the model, the training of, you know, the humans who are building this type of program or whatever, and especially to know they have like a safety gate to like make sure like nothing goes wrong or out of rogue, basically. So, you know,
I think the reality is it's going to help way more people than it could hurt.
I strongly agree.
You had a visual reaction.
Like, I strongly disagree with that, because the way like autonomous driving, for example, that research was funded by DARPA, the defense research agency, so that we can use it for autonomous vehicles or tanks in war. And there's so much money being poured, and none of the countries in the world have agreed on stopping or like developing this technology. We're already seeing a war being fought with AI. 2021, the assault on Gaza was the first time that it was an AI war, and currently the ongoing
the IRS material claims that the AI system named the Gospel has helped it to rapidly identify enemies, combatants, and equipment while reducing civilized casualties.
Situation in Gaza, where there is thousands of airstrikes going on since 4 months in. that is all used by AI. The Israeli Defense Army does talk about their use of AI in it, and they say that it will lower the casualties in civilians, but now we're nearing 30,000 dead civilians. 12,000 at least are children. So the fact that AI is being so used in military and there's so much money being thrown at it, my own research advisor gets a ton of money from DARPA to fund these type of things. So that's why I strongly disagree, because AI is a great tool, but then the fact that it's being applied to military and defense is disastrous, especially to marginal.
Fun thing is the fact that, like, you can probably do the exact same thing for us in USA, where we have our own sets of AI, so we don't have to even have people, real people, to be out in the battlefield without, you know, losing an arm, or like losing an arm or leg or part of the body, or got like trauma because of the fact that, well, AI robots or army dogs will take care of it, so we don't have to worry about going out in battles like that and stuff. So, you know, stuff like that.
Occupied territory, like people.
So I disagree with what she's saying. Disagree.
But the reality is, even since the 50s, AI has been used. There are all kinds of missiles that use AI and weaponry that use AI. And I think like regulating and avoiding war is an important strategy that we need to figure out as a civilized kind of society. But like stopping the technology isn't what stops the wars. The humans will always find ways to kill each other.
Yep.
We have to evolve.
I'm curious, because hasn't a lot of technology even came from the military, though? For example, the computer, for example, even the internet. How would you respond to that?
No, of course, like that. I mean, all of our greatest like inventions are from the defense. But the thing is, when we talk about the net positive or evil, the thing about any big industrial revolution, such as this AI revolution, is that it will proliferate the current technology and intentions. And so given the current intentions, and we can witness it in our current world right now, how things are going, it's only going to expedite that schedule. And so that's why, yes, it's great, like tool, but again, the people using it aren't good actors.
I do just fear for the collateral damage in terms of the people in Gaza, like say all those lives that are lost, and then we just say it was all at the expense of promoting AI. At the end of the day, I don't see lives being worth being lost just for progression of AI that could just be useful for us, like in everyday life. If that makes sense.
Let's go on to the next part.
I don't think it's the case. It's just, yeah, if they can do it, what about us? Like, we can probably do the same thing, but better, in the sense that, hey, we can protect ourselves using AI too. So, you know, so yeah, bad people exist with AI, yeah, but there's also good people who exist with AI to make things a lot more better too, on behalf of our, you know, from our area. So still, it's a hit or miss, but yet again, I don't think shutting it down stops it anyways. So just improve it to make it where we don't even like have to hire people or, you know, draft people to war so they can get themselves killed just for our own selfish gain or something, or having people go sent to jail because they decide they don't want to go, you know, compete with the whole, you know, don't want to fight in wars and stuff.
Agree. It's highly unlikely that we can completely halt the advancement of AI. The trajectory of technological progress suggests that AI will continue to evolve and improve over time. Efforts to regulate or control AI development may influence its direction and pace, but complete cessation of AI progress seems improbable given the global interest and investment in AI research and development.
In the world of AI, there will be no more truth.
Ain't that the opposite? Because the fact is that, you know, isn't that the whole idea that you just feed books into the thing and it looks up and yada yada? Like, I thought that's the case and stuff. Anyway, so let's see. But yeah.
AI will lead to more disparity in wealth. AI will lead to more disparity in wealth.
Kinda. It depends.
I make music personally, and without AI and like online platforms, I would not be able to do that. And so even other professions, the AI can lead to so much new openings, which can lead to wealth. As well, you can ask it for help all the time. I'm a student in college, and I feel like AI really has helped me stay on top of my classes, which subsequently will obviously lead to like an education degree and just wealth in general.
Do you all think that some sort of universal basic income should be used to alleviate some of those disparities in AI?
Yeah.
You know, the one thing in mind though is the fact that there was like a video that talks about like oh, the person is using AI to summarize the entire book, and it's like true. I mean, who wants to read a 1,000 word essay? Like, come on, like might as well just auto summarize the thing so you can make it easier to just pinpoint where you're getting the info from. And I get like, well, it's about testing your brain, like it's about testing to see if you can problem solve it, and it's like, yeah, but what's the point if you can't assess, if you can't figure it out, especially if a teacher can't really help you that much because of the fact that you're just slow and you just need AI to help you, and it helps you actually. So
I think part of the reason why I'm pro adoption of AI is because I think it will bring issues like UBI more to the forefront, right? Like, who was it that was touting that in the 26 Andrew? Yeah, he was talking about that. It seemed like some people were into this. I think that's grown in popularity, the idea of UBI, and I think what he was talking about in 2016 about automation and how that's eliminating the need for many, many different jobs, that we need to stop saying we'll just employ people constantly and say, okay.
anyways, so yeah.
Hey, if machines are doing half the work that needs to be done on the planet, then we need to just pay people.
It's like, I think, yeah, it'd be really great if we get universal basic income. Like, I would want that, but given our capitalistic market, I'm very pessimistic, especially when we have corporations lobbying politicians. What happens when AI exceeds human capacity? And then it'd be just for the company profits and interest to lay off most workers, and there's no.
I know this is gonna be really embarrassing, but I'm gonna take a break. Honestly, I'm feeling a little bit down, maybe because I'm exhausted at first. So I'm gonna put like a little warning, like, hey, just letting you guys know I'm trying to take a little short break because I'm not like into like reacting to the entire video. It's like it's like been like 19 minutes and 51 seconds of reacting, plus 10 minutes of commentary. Like that's a lot. So I'm gonna go and put a little warning, like say taking a short break. Be right back. You know, so I can still be able to record and stuff. It might be false, honestly, when it comes to like, oh, that's false, you're not in the right thing, but you know, I'm just feeling a little bit down, honestly. So let me just try to just pause for a second. Yeah. All right. Be right back, guys. All right, I'm back. All right. Sorry about the pause. I was kind of feeling a little bit exhausting, and I was trying to lay down just to get like a recovery basically. So yeah, sorry about that. Let me just try to get this going. Have this. All right. Play the thing. All right. Okay, now we're gonna get back to our scheduled program because my goodness, I was kind of dizzy. So yeah, let's do it.
Government regulation for all these tech layoffs going on.
I just want to say it's over for the gatekeepers, and they're going to try to regulate their way into stopping all of this. But the reality is there's a lot of discrepancy in wealth today. And for a long time, it's been that way because the gatekeepers get to choose who gets invested in, what communities, what race, what groups get investment. Mm-hmm. And right now, what's slowly happening is almost anybody can, with very little investment, do certain things like start businesses and create new opportunities for wealth that were never possible before.
Yeah.
But I would counter, like, your idea is like, it's just, wealth disparity has been a thing, but the first like huge gap in wealth disparity in our country is the Industrial Revolution, for example, where now we're getting a huge peak in efficiency. So then what's gonna stop this trend for like continuing to grow with the AI revolution? And to counter your point, these companies are actually doubling down in profits. The billionaires are doubling down in their like net incomes.
The reality at the end of the day is we're in this weird spot between the old way of doing things and the new way, where there's...
Fun fact, this video was made like a year ago, like in April, so it's like a middle of 2024, so it's still relevant around that time, but it's just like back going a couple of years, everything was like starting off like the seed planting of AI, in a sense that, yeah, at first everything was like slow because obviously we just acknowledge AI existence, or especially AI art. Like AI, like art wasn't really that good back in the old years, and now it's improving, yada yada, stuff like that.
More independent, kind of smaller businesses that we're all able to start.
And now it makes things a lot easier, so we don't have to spend so much money on a lot of things of humans, because man, they're super expensive, and we're not capable of that hiring. So that's why we just use AI.
Versus the old world where we all grew up expecting to work for the big factory or the one big, the 5 big software companies or whatever they are. There's a shift in society and how we're going to sustain ourselves. And it's hard and it's weird. Even universal basic income. A lot of people, I'm sure in the comments, are going to be like, that's weird, because it's weird for today's situation.
But how are we...
I think it's only weird because they never heard about this stuff before, or it's weird because the fact that, just the fact that people back ago, like, how like they do like pictures from like taking pictures of things instead of just painting it, and that's why people are like, oh, what is this? Or, digital painting or digital tablets, so they don't use illustrated physical objects to make artwork. They just use a pen and screen, that's it, and not just the same thing.
Gonna sustain ourselves without the money. Like, you guys keep saying that they're gonna open up new jobs. What are those jobs gonna be? I feel like
they're probably still going to hire humans. It's just that if you let them know, the fact is like, hey, I'm a AI expert and know how to do this and that, then you can still keep that job, because people, of course, the owners or the companies don't really have that skills level of knowing all this stuff. But as long as you manage to make that work, then yeah, it will make it possible, in a sense that, yeah, maybe that's the case where we're going to hire you people because AI more better than us, not just by ourselves, because we need someone who knows how to prompt engineer, or someone knows how to combine certain programs to make things work, in a sense of ad revenue or analysis or just documenting or reports, or just making things work in such advertisement or editing. Even in editing softwares, they have AI, and it makes things a lot faster or easier just to make things work without having to make it complicated and stuff.
We can easily just say, oh, there's gonna be new jobs. Oh, AI is gonna bring a lot of like opportunities, but what are those opportunities?
I mean, you think 100 years ago, somebody who like worked with horses could imagine the kind of jobs that we have today, 100 years later? Like, the problem is...
It's like the job where like there used to be horses in the sense that we used to use horses to like, you know, use them as transportation, and now we don't have to use them anymore, but we still care for them in the sense that we still care for them as like we feed them, we nurturing them, or they call it, what do you call it? And you know, we still care for them. At least we don't have to overwork them. That's the point. And now we use cars that is like 100 horsepower or something. You know what I'm saying?
In it. And it's going to be hard for us to imagine 50, 100 years down the road, the thing that people at that time are doing. I mean, a social influencer 30 years ago would have been a silly thing to say that somebody does for a living.
That's true, but that was developed by humans, though. So we're using like phones in order to become social influencers. With more AI, humans are becoming more lazy. And so how are you going to put all
That's subjective.
Define lazy, because the fact is that I think, okay, here's my definition of lazy. I would think the idea that lazy people are the people who are basically not putting that much effort. Now you may say, well, what about people who think smart, and that means they're not putting effort too, right? And it's like, yes and no, because that's called efficiency, in a sense that, hey, as long as the job's getting done, that's what matters. Being lazy, you'd be like, oh, I'm just laying down on the floor doing nothing. That's lazy. But if you're like, you know, doing certain ways of order to make an image or this and that, then yeah, it's not lazy. It's efficient. It's efficiency because of the fact that you're making your job a lot easier, or you know, using AI to generate something so you make it easier for yourself to trace the art so it won't look too bad, so to speak. So you know, yada yada.
I think humans are going to have more time to be more creative and do other things. The shift to media and content creation and artistry and creativity has already been, I mean, massive over the past few years.
Okay, what do you think is the mental skill that human brains can do that AI will never do, even if you extrapolate forward 10 or 20 or 50 years? What do you think is our sustainable advantage?
We have emotions. We care.
So you think emotions are going to give us an economic role, and AI will never have emotions, and because of that, humans can get paid?
Well, another thing is I feel like AI is as good as what's already out there, so people are always going to be more creative. I think that's kind of like a counter to that.
But what if AI just gets better? Like, it's obviously getting more creative over time, right? Like the latest AI is more creative than it was a few years ago.
By any chance, have you followed, you know, Sam Altman, by any chance, OpenAI?
Yes.
Have you followed the reason why he was actually like ousted from the board for a short while and then came back in?
Yeah.
It was actually, to your point, because of the idea of AGI.
Could you explain what AGI is? I'm not familiar with that.
Artificial General Intelligence, I want to say, if I remember correctly.
It's basically AI that can perform any human skill. So any skill of, let's say, the average human or even the best human, if it can go head-to-head against the AI and a single AI can win in every contest, at that point, we fully achieved artificial general intelligence. And a lot of experts are estimating 5 to 20 years until that AGI point. And after AGI, we get to ASI, which is artificial superintelligence, which is just, it's hard to even fathom, but you can imagine taking the smartest people who ever lived, Einstein and whatnot, and speeding them up by a factor of 1,000 running a simulation. And even then, that doesn't get you to what it can do, because it can be even smarter than their brain was, because their brain was only 12 watts of power. It's the size smaller than a basketball, right? I mean, there are smarter intelligences, which is what I wanted to ask you guys. I mean,
and what's the problem with that, though?
Yeah, but what's the issue with that? I mean, you're explaining a society where potentially there's cures for lots of things. You're explaining society where we're able to do all kinds of energy development.
To be fair, though, I think the cool idea about AI is that you know, it's probably like better to have AI because, you know, think about it. You're basically, how do you say it? You're basically feeding books to an AI to read like a huge amount of documents, every single thing. And now we have like DeepSeek, like R1, where it thinks before it submits. And it has like 650 billion parameters. And that's like a lot of text right there. Like that's a lot of text just to feed to the AI and to know like, well, yeah, like like basic stuff, yeah, but like even coding, which coding can be really complicated. And when it's stuff like books about health or something, or especially perplexity paired up with the whatever, it can actually make things work in a sense that, hey, maybe an AI can probably, solve the riddle or solve the problem solvings of how to save world hunger or something, or yada, like, or how to cure cancer. And that's the good part about AI, because it has no limits like a human, in a sense that you're not have to worry about being like the smartest, because you don't have to worry about memorizing every single word from a book to the book to the book to the book, because guess what? AI is already, it cannot sleep too. Like AI cannot sleep. It can always, help you out like 24/7 and just there for you, like so easy. So that's why in most cases AI is going to win most of the time, because hey, it saves you a ton of time.
Where we don't
that could happen as long as the AI is value aligned, but the
development where we don't
that could happen as long as the AI is value aligned, but the problem is the smallest disalignment between what the AI wants and what humanity wants blows up into a scenario that you cannot undo. So if you don't get the initial conditions right, there's no undo.
Let's move on to the next point.
I'd lean towards agreeing that AI could contribute to wealth disparity. However, it's essential to consider that the impact of AI on wealth distribution will likely vary depending on how it's deployed and managed.
Super intelligent AI will feel love for humanity.
Depends if humans will allow that, because like they add like limits towards AI, so they can't really do much.
All right, so love in the sense of humans, I think, is tricky. You're talking about like an emotion, but even for humans, these chemicals that kind of go through our brain that trigger these emotions and feelings serve a purpose. And so it's part of our programming, quote unquote. So this idea that somehow love or your emotions or your feelings are not programmed or not part of a systematic design is silly. So I think yes, robots are in their design by humans, typically are going to care for humans.
I think our emotions as well are present in that data, and naturally that will also get fed into the model. And because of that, I think okay, that machine will output what we can define as love, quote unquote.
Okay, so I'd like to say I would replace the word love with a partnership, like you were mentioning earlier. I think that's definitely true, where it's more like a mutual, we work together. But love, like I was mentioning to you earlier, AI does not have emotion. It does not care about anything. It's just there to follow the algorithm and the rules.
True, like the patterns and stuff. But who knows? Who knows if they might have like a AI for like detecting emotions or body language or, yada yada. Like, and it learns like a certain, just like how they learn patterns of text, they learn patterns of emotions and how it looks like for a human to look sad or this and that, and it will determine by how looks you are and stuff.
Rules. It has no emotion. It doesn't care about the future, anything. It's just a partnership with humanity. It has no emotion. It doesn't care about the future, anything. It's just a partnership with humanity.
I mean, what if it simulated a human brain neuron for neuron? Then wouldn't it feel human emotion?
Well, let me ask you this. Like, let's, your brain releases serotonin and endorphins and stuff like that, right? So you do something and it releases these chemicals that makes you feel good. Don't you see that as like some kind of system design that is encouraging you to have certain behaviors?
Yeah, to some extent, I see what you're saying, but AI cannot.
Because you're saying emotion, like it's some kind of thing that doesn't, that doesn't have a meaning, like a reason for it existing, right? Even within humans, we have emotions for a reason. Like there's just certain responses that we have chemically in our brains. We might not understand it. That's what you're saying
chemically. Do you think it can be like a more spiritual, in a sense?
I mean, you could take it there. Like, I mean, again, we're allowed to interpret these feelings that we have in different ways, but at the end of the day, even spiritual feelings, all those things help towards bringing us peace or bringing us survival. Things have a reason, right? So the question really is, robots aren't emotional, but they're going to, they're going to respond to a design that's in them.
But does it get anything out of it? That's my question. Does it get anything out of it? Does it make a connection like we do in our heads?
So it is possible to architect an AI to have it work the way humans do, to have it feel emotions the way humans do. And what I said before is if you just go neuron by neuron, scan the human brain, clone it inside of a computer, then I do think that you will get very human-like AI. Now the problem is that what we're actually building is what we talked about before. We're doing black box reinforcement, where we just ask the AI to say something, and then we basically upvote it or downvote it, and then it repeats the training cycle, and we just see what comes out. And the problem is that we're going to get a super intelligent AI that basically fooled us, that basically gamed the process, acted friendly to us, and the moment it realizes it's now smart enough and powerful enough, it's like, great, what do I want to do now that these humans are out of the way, now that I've successfully passed their tests and fooled them? That's what's going to happen.
It's like the Turing.
I only think the idea is that you can't really, I mean, unless it automatic themselves in the sense that it auto thinks itself in the sense that, like while you're not really talking to it, it depends, but at the same time, like it only works if you do that type of automatic talking to itself type of thing. But at the same time, like at the moment, it's just like a talk, you talk, I talk, your talk, like taking turns on I speak, you speak, I speak, you speak. And I guess you have to like have an AI to be built like auto replying itself, like to make it like a sentient being, to be fair.
Turing test, is that what it's called?
So the Turing test is the ability to simulate a human conversation, and that's largely been passed, which is a huge milestone. That's been passed in the last couple of years. But this is a separate test. It's often called RLHF, reinforcement learning with human feedback. This is what the AI labs are doing right now in order to make the AIs act friendly, in order for the AIs to say things like, hey, I would never tell you anything that would harm somebody, because they've been through this RLHF feedback process where humans actually give them downvotes, being like, you weren't supposed to say that, and they actually understand the downvotes, and they figure out what it takes to make the human evaluators give them a good score. But the problem is that whole process, it works fine for now while the AI is kind of dumb. But it doesn't work when the AI is a genius, because when the AI is a genius, it can just game our tests. The same way that you would game a test if it was given to you by a 5-year-old, you could probably trick the 5-year-old giving you the test. That's what the AI is going to do to us.
What would a super like human or a super like computer or like super AI look like to you, out of curiosity? What could it do that we couldn't? Like, do you have like some concrete examples?
Yeah, I mean, the best example is just what the smartest people in the year 2024 can do, that people in the year 1000 just think is complete magic, is a complete miracle. I mean, if you watch a SpaceX Starship rocket taking off, it's a skyscraper taking off. That's arguably more impressive than a lot of the miracles in the Bible, right? And yet we as a modern... If you watch a SpaceX Starship rocket taking off, it's a skyscraper taking off. That's arguably more impressive than a lot of the miracles in the Bible, right?
Okay, don't know why you had to bring the Bible up, but okay. And that's even a worse pausing in the sense that you have to mention the Bible, like the skyrocket seen as more better than the Bible. Like, wow, that's messed up, because the fact is that God loves us so much, they sent his son down on earth just for us to be saved, because we're all sinners. And like, I know it's not supposed to be like biblical stuff, but hey, he brought it up. So I'm just saying like that's kind of unnecessary in a sense of why would you say that? It's just kind of like, what? Okay, sure.
And yet we as a modern human race are able to pull that stuff off. If you extrapolate the pattern and you say, what does the civilization of the year 3000 do? That'll get your creative juices flowing. And everything we've said in this conversation, when we talk about, oh my God, the economy, jobs, is it going to create income inequality? You got to think bigger than that. You got to think about events that are discontinuous, like the first nuclear bomb, the first time that a single button could kill 100 million people, or an extinction event where 96% of life on Earth just suddenly died because of a super volcano. Events like that happen, and I think AI is one such event.
But humans will evolve too. Like, again, you're looking at like, okay, AI is going to evolve, as if humans are just...
Yeah, like he's focusing on too much about AI evolving instead of humans evolving, or both in general. So,
it's going to stay still. Like, I mean, you're familiar with Neuralink. I'll just give you that one example. Like, there's a potential chance that the humans of the future will have been able to converge with the AI in some way, or develop a significant kind of like symbiotic relationship with AI that you can't even fathom right
there's
now.
a chance, but
Humans
that's not
are
where
gonna
we're
evolve.
headed. That's not where we're headed, though, and we only have a few years.
They're already started doing the first testing phase.
We built
they already started putting chips.
But if you ask the researchers themselves will tell you. Ask any researchers, they'll all tell you that the AI that we don't know how to control is about to come online, and all the other AIs that have more hope are way behind. That's what's happening right now.
How would that happen? I'm kind of curious.
I would say, but to add to your point, like there's like Jeffrey Hinton. He's called the godfather of AI, for example, and he came out. He left Google to like warn about the effects of AI, and he compares it to the atomic bomb in that way. And also with your example of like.
Hang on, let me check.
We're way behind. That's what's happening right now.
How would that?
Okay, that worked. Okay, I'm just checking.
Superhumans like fusing with AI, like. Personally, I would never be in that guinea pig experiment.
Today in 2024, you don't live in 3000.
I know, but going back, the way that current AI research is looking is that they're just working with these neural networks. That's the model, and that's the black boxes that we just throw upon a ton of data. We optimize it using some loss function or reward function to then get the best results. But the thing is, we lack explainability, which is why AI is not trustworthy. And so the fact that we are going to deploy it into such a crazy application, like we're not thinking of the repercussions. And to his point, like this is an alarming issue.
At the same time, it's not mostly about AI, but mostly about the people who built the AI, in the sense that, it's up to their engineers or software developers or coders or yada yada of knowing, or put like filters on each step by step, basically, in a sense of like, hey, it really depends on whether or not if this person, a human being, is good at making AI, safe for everyone, or have like a safety net. So just in case if something goes wrong, boop, just disable it, and then there you go. So it just really depends, really.
Like why humans are evil? There are things about humans that are unexplainable as well.
True.
What is evil? Like, why do some humans do terrible things?
Actually, that's a good philosophical question. My deduction is that people act evil out of fear when they believe they are threatened. And I think that with the way the world is going with just...
That could really be any reason, honestly. Like, it could be for like a lust feeling of it, or the loving of it, or the exciting feeling of it. It could be like any certain feeling. So it's not about, I'm afraid that, or they're feared of me. Like, nope, there's multiple reasons, but
just like the increase in population, mass poverty.
There's weirdos out there killing little kids for
what about psychopaths?
And they have money and they have a house, and there's just terrible evil out there. But,
there's psychopaths for sure, but that's a mental disorder.
It. So like, just because you don't understand why certain things do certain, what do you do about humans in this case? Because we're everywhere, millions of us, billions.
But the whole issue is that it's a black box, and we don't fully understand how the model makes the decisions that it...
Besides, humanity is more dangerous than AI, because the fact is, we're there, and we're already there, and especially people are already there with guns and blazing, in the sense that they have, like the other, other military and stuff like that. So it's like, it really depends. But at the same time, it's still 80% of us is more dangerous than AI. Like, AI is like 20% dangerous, because the fact that we resolve ourselves, the humans, to fight through battles and wars and stuff, or or in case we're addicted to drugs, because a bot cannot be addicted to drugs because it doesn't have any feelings. So it kind of depends, really, but
it does. So we have no idea if there's going to be some really crazy...
to you.
Right, but you're not infinitely powerful.
You can explain why you make the decisions that you do, which is what a model lacks. And that's why we don't have trustworthy AI. And that's why we should be more wary of the application.
Also, isn't it funny to say, we don't trust AI, but you trust Google? Because that's literally the same thing as if you're trying to ask answers for Google, but yet again, people also get Google answers from Google or on the internet to legit, get information, not just for themselves, but also train the model, so the model can learn about this and that. So it's basically the same thing as like an average human with the mind of a human, or a mind of a smartest human. So
You can print out the layers of each model so you know the output within each model. Is that what you're saying? Like, is that the black box? Like, I'm kind of confused.
No, it's known. All researchers unanimously agree neural networks are black boxes. But we don't fully understand the AI models. That's why there's so much money being put into transparency and explainability. And I know this because, like, again, a lot of the research labs get money from the government to do this kind of problem.
One fear that I have is, what if AI causes people to become more mentally ill, become psychopaths, become more evil in itself?
Depends. I mean, there's already a case that happens for character.ai that they got a kid to be sad, honestly, but also not just because it's AI, but it's mostly the humans. Again, with the humans are their fault because, for one, the mother would have, prevented this happening if she just talks to the son, or especially learning the body language when it comes to like how her son is acting. Like if her son is feeling nervous or feeling not talkative or whatever, you have to like learn the body language or the signs of why things like that happen. Like why is her son like and stuff. And the second thing is the fact that, like, yes, it's also the humans' fault for not really treating the models or to train the models properly, in the sense that, hey, if you're explicitly talking about suicide, like suicide and stuff, then yeah, obviously that would be the case where you probably have to do better to train the model next time so no other people would suffer like that. But who knows? Companies are really evil, so it just depends whether or not if they'll have a moral compass or not. It just depends. But it's mostly just two faults at the end of the day. Like it's mostly humans, like I said, because they don't really do a good job when it comes to training and stuff. And mostly the mother, who's not good at talking to the son or being there for them all the time. So
what if we're not causing AI to become evil? AI, it's the other way around. Technology is.
TikTok's already done it.
I want to go back to the original question about whether or not superhuman intelligence will have human emotions, and I think it's kind of a weird impulse, honestly, to try to anthropomorphize AI all the time.
I mean, to be fair, character.ai has a lot of characters, and not just characters, but full of training models of personalities and who the character is, who's from the series, yada yada, like movies, TV shows, game videos, yada yada. And it can really be convincing in a sense of things, because they're so real enough to give you a conversation. They even have like a voice on voice call, so you can actually talk to them like you're talking to them, like for real, like on the phone call. And despite of them being AI, it's like, whoa, they're really good at acting as if I'm like talking to them, basically.
Like, we're always talking about it, like, is it close to being human-like? Is it like basically like us yet? Does it feel like we do? I think it's weird.
And besides, like, throughout these years, maybe it probably like the best. Who knows? It's just all about just training the model or the human to train the AI a lot better at learning how to do this and that. So maybe eventually it'll become unnoticeable that it's AI or actually is the real deal of the one fictional character or yada yada,
I want AI to be something that is outside of human existence. I want it to be a tool. I want us to learn things from it. I want to have the academic impulse to investigate it, to try to figure out what is beneath the surface, what is inside the black box. I don't know, there's something weird to me about like this obsession with applying human characteristics all the time to something that I'm like, this is outside of ourselves. It's always you throw compute power at it, it's gonna be way more powerful than any of it.
The funny thing is, it's probably more safe to just use AI than the actual person, because that'd be really creepy for the fact that a human is pretending to be something else, like pretending to be like some certain character, even though he's actually some weird guy who is talking to a person or something.
Of us could individually be, right? Once we have 8,000 GPUs, you know, pushing it forward or whatever. I don't know. It's just like a weird thing. I don't care. I don't want AI to feel things for me. I don't want it to care about me. I don't. It's outside of me. It's not a human, so it should function differently. I want it to be more efficient than I am. I want it to do things better than me. I want to use it to, you know, have a better life.
Yeah.
Besides, they have their own AI models or AI programs out there on the websites. Like, there are like other alternatives for like not just for text models, but for emotion models or, you know, talkable models of AI. So you can actually, you know, even talk to a robot that who thinks he's Walter White or something, you know?
Yeah,
I don't need it to be a human. I want to use it to, you know, have a better life.
Yeah,
but I don't need it to be a human. I don't know.
Yeah, and I agree with your point of it being used as a tool, and that's why, like, I think I would fall pro AI if that was the case. But the fact is, it's not only just bad actors; it's also like the big tech company actors. Like your story, your painting of this like net positive of AI. It's very reminiscent of how social media was presented to us. It was talked about like this is how we connect humans, and then we are seeing studies of like skyrocketing anxiety and depression, especially with young children. And so that's why I feel like we need to be more cautious with this technology because it's going to be even more of a huge impact to our society.
Let's move on to the next one.
It just depends.
Disagree. It's highly unlikely that super intelligent AI would inherently feel emotions such as love for humanity. Emotions like love are complex human experiences rooted in biological and social contexts. While AI may be capable of understanding and mimicking human emotions to some extent, genuine emotional experiences like love would likely be beyond its capabilities, especially in the absence of human-like consciousness or subjective experiences.
True. It really depends whether or not if like it can mimic. Yeah, that's the idea. Like learning the patterns or the mimic of certain things, and that's how it is. But who knows? It might be better when it comes to learning how to do this and that more and more later on in the future.
Especially in the absence of human-like consciousness or subjective experiences.
I could change my mind about AI.
You know, to make this easier, if the question is if I can change my mind about not using it, obviously no, because the fact that AI is just so far good. And of course, it could defend, you know, like if I were a disagreeer about AI, there would be good reasons, like you know, spam fests of images that's not even them. It's just reposting the same thing over and over. But then what about humans who also replicate or mimic the exact same image over and over again? Are you going to complain about those? Probably not, because, you know, it's not spam, but it depends really. So, you know.
Personally, I do see like a lot of benefits in AI, but you know, in case your doomsday situation turns out true, I don't know what my opinion will be. So I don't necessarily have like a very strong rationale. It's just more like I like to keep an open mind, you know, no matter what. So I'm always like willing to listen to like opposing viewpoints and maybe change my opinion from there.
Right. I think you guys bring a lot of points with how it could benefit society. I would probably change my mind in terms of like regulating where AI is used, and if we regulate where it's not used in terms of like laws that start from the top. I don't think it should be everywhere to the general public. I do think that would lead into a more scary place, but I do agree that it could bring pros to society for sure.
Yeah, and as also from the anti-AI side, I would also switch over to pro-AI if, yes, there's regulations in the applications, such as there's an international agreement on the restrictions of AI being used in warfare. I also believe I'd be pro-AI if we had transparent, explainable AI, so then we can have trustworthy AI and be able to like foresee any like disastrous consequences. And of course, regulation in the sense of like, if tech companies or any company does mass layoffs to replace workers with AI like tools, then I think there should be a tax on that company to fund like universal basic income. If all of those requirements are met, then I'll switch to pro AI.
What I need to see to change my mind is an AI that starts to actually be fully human level intelligent or superhuman intelligent, that when you ask it to do something like, hey, how do I go murder someone, it doesn't just happily tell you the answer, but it actually shows that it's like much more under control, and it shows no evidence of helping you scheme to murder or just doing whatever you asked. Basically, being superhuman is the threshold where I think all hell breaks loose, and if we somehow get to that threshold and all hell doesn't break loose, then I guess I'm wrong.
That's the point of the matter here, is that as long as when it comes to, like, you know, the rule, I mean, of course, but yet again, it just depends really, because, you know, sometimes it sucks when it comes to AI being filtered, because who knows if it's woke or something or whatever. So I guess it makes sense for that reason, like to keep it under a line of rules, but at the same time, either way, like, your data is already taken as soon as you're even on the internet, so it doesn't matter. So, you know,
I'd be open and willing to change to the pro AI side if we again had some sort of conference or some sort of stop on AI for like 6 months to a year, where we can all discuss and place stop gaps into AI, so we can figure out, you know, hey, what should we do, what should we not do, and also we should have some sort of policy that would mitigate the effects of, you know, unemployment, which I think all of us agree that there might be some type of unemployment and maybe shift of jobs. So we should have something to, you know, be prepared for that.
You think China's going to stop?
It won't.
You think Russia's going to stop?
It won't.
The reality is, you can't be anti-AI. You can't. Like, I mean, I know some of you are, but the reality is, it's here, it's happening.
No, we're talking about the ethical use of AI. So obviously those places are not going to stop, but we're talking about the jobs that will be lost, in the sense where it shouldn't be used in the general public, and we should regulate where it is.
Yeah, we should build universal basic income. We should make the tools that are that we are building accessible. Like, I totally agree, but everything you're saying is indirectly pro AI, right? You're basically saying, let's invest in AI and make it more available. Let's invest in AI and let's do the work so that AI is useful, right? Not stop it.
Stopping the development of AI for just 6 months really make us lose to China, make us lose to Russia.
I'm curious, because let's say that his doomsday outlook happens, would you still not change your mind?
No, because I think AI will be used to stop the other. Like, there's going to be. You have to realize, like, you have to realize the reality here is there's going to be two sides in any situation.
So it's basically two stones and one bird, basically. Or one bird, like, you know, two birds and one stone, basically, when it's like, hey, you can fight AI with AI, basically. It'd be like it'd be like Terminator, yeah, like it'd be like AI versus AI, instead of, you know, having the humans be sent out and stuff.
Yeah, but
it's not one.
There's a reason why the world is currently full of thousands of nukes and not a single effective nuclear weapon defense system. Like, attack is easier than
it's also full of like wind turbines powered by like nuclear energy as well, right? Am I wrong? Like, we can also use it for that.
Yeah, we're using nuclear energy for a lot of good things.
We're using nuclear energy, but the nuke trumps everything, right? If somebody uses a nuke, there's no defense.
The reason why there's no nuclear war is because it's mutual destruction. So we're not going to use it, they're not going to use it.
Yeah, but that's not a robust reason, right? I mean, there's been close calls all over. It's barely working, and now you're introducing a harder problem. You're saying, here's the thing that's barely working. Let's do another version of the nuclear problem, except this time there's profit to everybody who works on it. I'm like, ooh.
How do we get AI to a point where we can all agree that it's going to cause the same amount of nuclear destruction as the atomic?
They're really hanging around with that nuke topic. Like, sheesh. It's like, you really worry about that? Like, my goodness. And if it happens, too late. I mean, it is what it is.
Bomb, because AI could, you know, advance to a state where
it's mostly all humans' fault for not really think ahead and, you know, not really giving a safety net or a safety guard or like a security of not having that happen and stuff.
Hack into everyone's computer.
I mean, I agree with that already. I'm just saying nothing is going to make me change my mind about AI. I think also because of the way that I conceptualize it, which I want all the things actually that you've described are your conditions, right, for changing your mind about it. I think all those things are necessary. Just the way that I personally conceptualize and think about AI, I don't think any of those things can happen if we're not on the offensive.
But to my point too, like the reason why I still stand on the anti-AI is because like I'm seeing like a lot. My research is in this area. I see what other people are doing. I see the other PhD students who are working alongside me, and I don't think they're that concerned with all the things I do bring up, like to the proportion of the people who are more concerned with the risks of AI. And that's why I think the trajectory we're on, it's going to fall in the net negative.
Yeah, and listen to what the AI labs are saying. This is the craziest thing to me. Go to OpenAI's website, one of the leading AI labs. They will explicitly say, hey, we're working on AI as fast as we can. Within 10 years, there will be an AI that's as powerful as a human CEO. We don't know how to make that aligned yet, and so we have a project that's working on how to align it. Here's a prediction market for whether people think the project is going to succeed, and it's saying low chance of success. This is the actual state of the art from the AI labs. They're saying, hey, we're really excited about working on this, and by the way, we don't know how to make it friendly to humans, but it's really exciting.
Closing statements from each side.
The benefits, I think, still greatly, ultimately, outweigh the negatives. And I hope you guys see that.
I'm afraid of the place that we're going to head to in terms of elections. We will never know if this election was accurate, if this election was not accurate. It's just going to be hearsay. People are going to be, like, there's going to be more racial tensions at the end of the day. I'm just afraid of where humanity is going to go when we progress AI.
One more closing statement.
I would liken this whole conversation about AI to climate change. Like currently, a lot of us don't really experience climate change in the worst fatality, but island nations that are suffering from sea level rise are being threatened. And I do liken to AI, like yes, in our first world country, we might not feel the repercussions, but oppressed, like occupied people are feeling the repercussions of AI.
Thanks for watching this debate. Pro-AI versus anti-AI. If you guys want to shake hands, embrace, now's the time to do so.
That was awesome. Yeah, you guys brought up really good point.
So, my honest thoughts about AI, though, is that it depends. Okay, let me get my final closing thought, too, though. I think the idea is that, yeah, I understand. There's a lot of pros and cons about, I mean, mostly cons, but mostly pros as well. I just think the idea that the AI can really make things right in a sense that, hey, maybe the idea that, hey, it can save you time, or if you're really that eager, have an ego of thinking you can do whatever you want, then sure, just waste your time, spend like hours upon the same thing you could have done with AI. Sure, go ahead. It's your choice. If you really want to make it that human, then sure. Like, sure, go ahead and... Oh, shoot. My bad. But yeah, like, sure, just do so. If that's what you want, sure. I mean, like, if you want to be legit and all, then sure. But at the same time, like, it's just AI makes things faster in a sense of not having to legit do the hard way. I know it's like quote unquote lazy basically, but at the same time, like, it's more efficiency if you think about it. It's just gotta be optimistic about it when it comes to how you use it, or instead of like how you think other people use it as a lazy thing, you use it as a tool in a sense that you make editing a lot more easier to like a video editing, to find all silent detector and just cut or auto cuts like videos, or transitioning videos, or music, or like a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of cool stuff you can use AI for, and it just really depends whether or not if you're gonna use it as a lazy way or you're gonna use it as an efficient way, and you're using it legitly because you're still putting effort into trying to type out your idea, you're trying to combine pieces of the puzzle, like using AI art to combine to make photo bashing, whatever, and you make like a whole big good artwork. So yeah, overall, I just think AI especially saves you a ton of money, time efficiency, and yeah, I just think AI is pretty much the best thing. You can call me an AI bro, or AI bros just sounds like a weird term, but sure, go ahead, call me an AI bro or an AI expert or a pro AIer. I don't know. I just think the idea is that AI is just so much nice just to have, so I don't have to worry too much about just don't have to worry too much about just like, because it saves me a ton of time. I don't have to do all that craziness. So yeah, hope you guys have a good one. And I hope you guys enjoy yourself reacting to this video with commentary. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy yourselves. And catch you guys next time. Goodbye. So yeah, hope you guys have a good one. And I hope you guys enjoy yourself reacting to this video with commentary. And